I'll give you an example. When a lot of people start Ganesha Sadhana, immediately you will see their goal getting closer.
Okay.
Right? And then they'll be very happy. And when they can almost smell it, it's near their grasp, he snatches it away. I just want to show you, I can give it to you if I want to. But re-evaluate. I'm giving you this obstacle, re-evaluate your desire. Vrata means restriction of consumption, all forms of consumption, not just food. So that burns your karma rapidly and allows the devata to manifest much more quicker in your life. In Tantra, we say that the japa of a mantra is like this being the male lip, this being the female, and the constant chanting is like the conjoining of the male and female, giving birth to the mantrik devata in the Garbhagriha, which is your Hridaya chakra. So you're doing that like conception basically, right? That's why they call it bija, no? Seed.
Yes.
So that you are actually giving birth to the devata within you, so that eventually you become the tool of the devata. You are just like the temple, right?
Wonderful. I've never heard of this before. Namaste everyone, a very warm welcome on the show, and I'm your host Rangoli Sharma. Another day and I've brought to you another exclusive episode of my English series Mystic Mind. In my previous podcast, I have covered so many discussions on Tantra, but today I have a surprise for you. When we talk of Tantra, majorly we talk about Devi Tantra, but in today's discussion I've explored Ganesha Tantra. There is a Tantrik form of Ganesha as well. When does Ganesha call you? When do you go for Ganesha Sadhana? How would Ganesha Sadhana change you, transform you? Would it give you the material and spiritual growth? Are there also fierce forms of Ganesha? How would the protection of this Ganesha Sadhana would guide you in your life? These are some important questions that I have asked in today's discussion. So I'm sure this will be a very new podcast for you, but I'm sure you will feel Ganesha's blessing in your life. And if you're a beginner into Ganesha Sadhana, how can you make Ganesha Tantra a part of your life? Even if you're living in a domesticated normal life, you're not a sadhak, how would Ganesha call you? And for this wonderful discussion, a very special guest has joined me today. He is a Tantra sadhak, and especially he talks about Ganesha Tantra. And he's a highly respected name when it comes to spiritual writing and mantra sadhana. I would like to welcome Acharya Shree Ji on Speaking Tree. Guruji, a very warm welcome on the show.
Shri Mahaganapati Namaha Karpartane.
Such a pleasure to be sitting with you today. And one very unique and different aspect of Tantra today we are going to explore.
It's my pleasure.
Guruji, usually when we think of Tantra, we hear the more popular form of Tantra. We usually think that it's Devi Tantra that we are talking about because it's been popularized so much. But today I'm going to discuss with Guruji the Tantrik perspective of Ganesha Tantra. So Guruji, to begin with, my very basic and very seeker kind of question would be, why it is not so popular as compared to Devi Tantra? Why it's hidden?
So there are a couple of aspects to this. Number one, Tantra is just a corpus of knowledge and practice, just like the Puranas. We have 18 Puranas. Currently, there used to be 2 lakh Puranas. And there are Puranas that are catered to Devi Bhaktas. There are Puranas that are catered towards Shiva Bhaktas. And there are Puranas that are catered towards the Vaishnavas. Example, Kalika Puran, Devi Bhagavatam for Devi, Shiva Puran, Linga Puran for Shiva, and Padma Puran, Bhagavatam for the Vaishnava side. So, Puranic technology is one thing. And if you are in the mode of Bhakti, you follow the Puranas that is related to your Ishtadevata.
Exactly.
Right? In the same way, Tantra is a corpus of knowledge. There are Devi-related Tantras, there are Ganesha-related Tantras, there are even Vaishnava-related Tantras like the Pancharatra Tantras and many others. What happened with the Ganesha Sampradaya and the Tantra is 2 things. One is invasions. Ganesha sadhana and practice was centered around Maharashtra area. So due to invasions, if you see the Ashtavinayak temples in Maharashtra, most of them are very recent temples. They were destroyed. So they were rebuilt later on under Chhatrapati Shivaji and the Peshwas. Right? So these Ashtavinayak temples were the seats of Ganesha Tantra. And with the invasions of the Mughals and the loss of knowledge, a lot of things was lost to the public. Second thing is, in Tantra, the Guru Sampradaya is very, very important. In any Tantra for that matter, we need to know the three lineages of Gurus. Right? We have the Divya Gurus, the Gurus who are from the divine realm. We have the Siddha Gurus, who are esteemed masters, Mahasiddhas. And then we have the Manava Gurus, like normal humans like me and others who are practicing and teaching the Tantra. If you do not know these lines and you do not understand what they have taught, you will not grasp the full knowledge. And in Ganesha Tantra, one of the main gurus has been lost in Tantra as it is practiced in India.
Okay, and what's that form of guru which has been lost?
The Buddha. Okay. Right? If you see things like the Sahasranama, the first 8 names of a Sahasranama usually mention different gurus. For Ganesha Sahasranama, it starts with Ganeshwaro, Ganakrido, Gananado, Ganadipaha. These are 4 gurus' names. People think it's Ganesha's names. It's the 4 gurus, Divya gurus of the Ganesha Sampradaya. Most people do not know that. They think it's just a devotional hymn. You're actually invoking the guru lineage before you start worshipping Ganesha, even in a Sahasranama. Right? So in Tantra, there was Hindu Tantra and there was Buddhist Tantra. Tantra was divided into 2. And the Siddhas didn't really care about whether something is Hindu or Buddhist in nature. They only cared about the technology. And the Buddha was a very prominent guru in Ganesha Tantra.
Okay.
Right? It is said that when he gave his sermons in Vulture's Peak Mountain at Bihar, in the most popular place where he gave his sermons, he gave his Shishyas lots of mantras of Ganesha. So that when they go about spreading Buddhism, when they went about spreading knowledge of Tantra, it would be without obstacles. We lost that knowledge. 30 different manuals of Ganesha Tantra left India from Bengal and it traveled to Tibet, China, Thailand and many other places, which is not even available right now in the place where all of this was generated. Right? So we do not know about all of these things. We have not actually done anything to bring all this knowledge back. So these things happen. Secondly, in any spiritual system, let's say where the government or anyone in power starts implementing it, it becomes widespread everywhere. Back in the day, when a king becomes a Shaiva, he will change the process and pujas in this entire land, right, into that Shaiva Padati. I will give you an example. In Tamil Nadu, the worship of Murugan or Skanda, Subramanya, is very, very famous.
Popular, yes.
Right? So they have the 6 temples of Skanda. They call it the Arupadai Veedu, where most people who worship Murugan will always go and visit the 6 temples. But the puja process that is happening right now is not even following the Kaumara process. It is following the Shaiva Siddhanta process. So back in the day, there 6 temples was not visited by everyone. Different clans would visit different temples, and it's written in the Sastras that one of these temples was worshipped by the rishis. They wore tiger skin, they had matted hair, they were very skinny, skin and bones. They worshipped Murugan in the internal worship. In the second temple, the Andanas or the Brahmanas would worship Skanda in Yajna. In the third temple, the hunters, they would, whatever they hunt, antelope, deer, wild boar, they would offer it to him and worship him in that way. The fishermen, they would offer fish, alcohol. So each clan had a style of worshipping him. But later on when the king converted and wanted to spread Shaiva Siddhantam, he changed the process of worship into the Shaiva process. So whenever a king follows a tradition back in the day, he will implement that all over. Like we saw what Ashoka and all have done, right? So what happened was, along with the invasions, along with the loss of the Guru Sampradaya of greats like what Buddha had brought, we also find that Ganesha systems get implemented or swallowed up by the bigger traditions like the Shaiva traditions and the Shakta traditions.
Yeah.
So if you see in Shakta Tantras, they always start with a form of Ganesha.
Exactly. They say that whenever you start any upasana, Ganesha should be the one you begin with.
So I'll give you an example of the Dasha Mahavidyas.
Yeah.
There is one Devi called Baglamukhi. Right? So a lot of lawyers worship Baglamukhi. I have Shishas who a lot of them are lawyers.
Yes.
One of the Siddhis is she does Stambhana. So lawyers who have Siddhi of that mantra, when they are against other lawyers, they can stop that argument from coming forward.
Exactly.
Right? Celebrities are also known to have used this when suddenly a controversy breaks up and everyone is talking about the celebrity. What they do is they'll go and approach someone who has Siddhi of Baglamukhi's mantra. So they will do Stambhana, where now another controversy erupts. So people forget about this one controversy and another controversy happens. Internally as a sadhaka, we have certain mental blocks, certain OCDs and all that is stopping us from achieving things.
Yes.
As a sadhaka, you use that mantra to do stambhana, immobilize these things within you as well. So it can be used inward, could be used outward, right? So in Baglamukhi sadhana, a Shakta Tantra, they start with Haritra Ganapati. Haritra Ganapati, who is actually a Ganesha Tantra form. He has his own path and everything. But if you see, he has the same essence of Baglamukhi because his mantra has Stambhana.
Okay.
So instead of using that form to fully realize him, they are using him as a stepping stone so that they can reach
to Maha
Baglamukhi, not as the path of Ganesha himself. In the same way, we have Srividya Tantra, where they worship Lalita Mahatripura Sundari or Shodashi or Kameshwari. The first mantra they give you is Vallabha Ganapati mantra. Now, Lalita Mahatripura Sundari is known, she who enchants the three worlds.
Yes.
Right? She's a beautiful goddess. If you see Mahaganapati or Vallabha Ganapati's mantra, it has Sarvajana Pashamanaya. He has the same essence of Devi. But Mahaganapati has his own philosophy in Tantra. He is a main god in Tantra, but they have incorporated him in the Shakta framework.
Yeah.
There is good things in that as well, because if they are not incorporated it, we would have lost the mantras.
Yes, completely
would have lost. Because we, other than the ones that have been incorporated in these systems, we have lost everything. Tibet has it, Japan has it, Korea has it, China has it. We don't have them. Right? So there are good things that also happen with this, but we have to realize that Ganesha has his own path. Because a lot of people think that Ganesha is the son of Shiva and Parvati.
Yes, I believe that.
Now, that is not entirely accurate.
Really?
So,
how?
In Ganesha's Sampradaya, Ganesha is seen as Pranava Swarupa.
Pranav Swarupa.
Yes, he is the Omkara that was the original sound, the primordial sound that came before creation, came before the Devatas, came before everything else, before the Lokas and the Yugas, time, space. He was there before, right? So people think that he is only Shiva and Parvati's son. He has descended in various rupas. He has been born not just as the son of Shiva and Parvati. He has born in Patala Loka as the son of Nagaraja and Nagarani.
Okay.
He has been born to Rishi Kashyapa and Aditi Devi as their son. In Vinayaka Purana, it's mentioned. He's even been a Manusha Putra. He was born to King Varinya and he gave the world the Ganesh Gita.
Ganesh Gita. Okay.
Right? So how is he the son of all of them? It is actually the concept of an avatar. Right? If we see this example, a lot of people think that Krishna is the next birth of Ram. That's what is generally thought of as, right? But if you read the Mahabharata, it clearly says that Arjuna and Krishna is the reincarnation of the rishis, Nara and Narayana, from the previous life.
Okay.
So how do you reconcile these two seemingly opposite streams of thought? Now, for any great Shakti to descend, it needs a Karana Sharira, a body that is able to hold that Shakti.
Absolutely.
So, the Rishi Narayana, from Nara and Narayana, his tapas allowed him in the next birth to hold on to the Shakti of Vishnu as Krishna.
Right.
Right? In the same way, Ganesha is said to have had crores of births as the son of Shiva and Parvati, because he's such a great Shakti that only a Karana Sharira from Shiva and Parvati combined can hold his Shakti most of the times. But it is not just from them, he has had many other births as well.
Wonderful. So, Guruji, now that we understood the deeper philosophy behind why Ganesh Tantra is not so popular, I would like to begin with, where does Ganesh Upasana leads you? Like, why Ganesh Tantra? And how does it choose you?
So, we all have our own likes and dislikes. These things can come from our birth, right? What we were taught as a child, or from previous vasana samskaras, right? Example, people watch Avengers. Someone likes Thor, someone likes Captain America, someone likes the Incredible Hulk, but you can't really tell why. Some of them might have read the comics, but certain characteristics that are intrinsic in them, we will like.
Exactly.
Right? Even among devatas, if let's say someone doesn't like someone who's a show-off, they like to be strong, right? But they don't like people who abuse that. They want someone who's strong and humble. They might be attracted to a form like Hanuman Swami.
Absolutely.
Right? Someone who hated their teachers growing up, who hated discipline master growing up, they are very anti-authority. They would like a devata who is like Karupan or Bhairava, who seems like an anti-traditional route. So we are all attracted to some form that connects with us. So that's how most of us actually choose which sadhana we go into. For Ganesha, the thing is, he is the Lord of Mooladhara.
Yes, absolutely. The Mooladhara chakra is associated.
Yes, so he is the Lord of Mooladhara. That's why people say, even if you are doing any other sadhana, you have to start a couple of years doing his sadhana. Because what happens is, if you do not have stability, you do not have rootedness, if you do any kinds of high energy sadhana, you might fall. You need that kind of stability.
It's a very slippery path,
Yes.
as they say.
So people sometimes do something called spiritual bypassing. They do not start off with a foundation, they jump to some, very highly energetic like Kalika mantra or any Mahavidyas mantra directly.
Okay.
But their body has not been able to handle it.
They're not ready for it.
Not ready. So if you see, like example, Kali's murtis and all that, you will see her standing on Shiva.
Ji.
Right? And people think, why is she standing on Shiva? But if you see Devi, whenever she's killing asuras, she's actually injuring the asuras. But here Shiva is smiling and lying down. He's not being injured or anything. It's trying to explain that to hold that kind of dynamic energy, you must be like Shiva. You must have the stability. You need to have the Vairagya. So people who do Shakta Upasana, they have to do Shiva Upasana also, so that they have the stability to handle that energy. In the same way, Ganesha is Mooladhara, where all your heavy karmas are stuck. Right? Your addictions, your compulsions, right? Your impulses, right? Things that we know this thing triggers us, but we have no control over these things, right? He makes you aware of it and removes these things. So I've had people who were addicted to sleeping pills, alcohol, all manner of addictions. When they did Ganesha Sadhana, it slowly got removed. There's a cleansing that happens in the Mooladhara. And that gave them a lot of stability. And when they eventually went to other sadhanas, they were able to handle that.
Okay, so it prepares you, it gives you the right energy.
It gives you the right energy, and it gives you something. One of the siddhi of a Ganesha sadhana is Purnatvam.
Purnatvam. What does that mean?
It means completeness. So It means you feel complete within yourself. You do not need something external to make you feel complete. You are in a state of completeness. That doesn't mean you don't have goals. That doesn't mean you don't have desires. But you approach them from a state of completeness. I have these milestones. I want to achieve them. But I am not like, if I don't, I will. So it's not from a place of scarcity. I'm fully complete. I'm going to be engaged with the world. But I do not get entangled by the world.
Very important.
So that is one of the Shakti and powers of doing Ganesha Sadhana.
Guruji, does it parallelly give you materialistic growth as well with your spiritual progression?
So in Tantra, we do not see a difference between both of them.
Okay.
Right? So this thing where material growth is bad came from a very specific tradition and came from different traditions that are not part of Sanatana Dharma. Right? We had great Raja Rishis who had wealth. We had great merchants who had wealth. It didn't stop their sadhana. And we always follow Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Right? Vivekananda said, how can you preach spirituality to an empty stomach?
Absolutely.
Right? So this entire thing about not having wealth is, if you have no wealth, if you have no influence, how are you going to change society? How are you going to exercise your will to the world? Right?
Exactly.
So there's no such thing. It is growth in all aspects. So what happens is, if you are a grihastha, how can you function without wealth? Right?
Definitely.
See, the entire Mooladhara of Sanatana Dharma is not in sannyasis. It's in grihasthas. Who feeds the sannyasis? Who
Makes
builds
sense.
the ashrams of the sannyasis?
Yeah.
Who brings forth the next generation for the Pitru Karma? Right? Who teaches the children? It is all the grihasthas. Grihastha Dharma is the astivaram of Sanatana Dharma. It is not sannyasis. Of course, they do great work, but it is grihasthas who do everything. And for grihasthas, we need growth in all aspects. Right? The only difference is when you do Ganesha Sadhana, see, different devatas have a different manner of teaching you. They have different teaching tools. Even if you go to school or college, different teachers have different ways of teaching. So Shiva, when you do Shiva Sadhana, his way of teaching is in the way of Vairagya.
Yeah.
He'll make you a Vairagi.
He'll detach you.
Right? He'll detach you from a lot of things. Devi teaches you through Shakti, through wielding power, energy. Right? Vishnu teaches you through Dharma. Right? What is right, what is wrong. He'll put you in Dharma Sankata situations where you have to choose the right, but it is going to hurt people around you. But are you going to choose the greater good? Right? Ganesha chooses obstacle as his way of teaching.
And we call him Vignaharta.
Yes. So we call him Vignaharta. Why he is also known as Vignaharta and Vignakarta.
Yes.
Right? So his main way of teaching a sadhaka is through obstacles itself.
Okay. So he'll give you obstacles to test you? Is that so?
So let's say you have certain goals and desires. He puts an obstacle in front of you. I'll give you an example. When a lot of people start Ganesha Sadhana, immediately they will see their goal getting closer.
Okay.
Right? And then they'll be very happy. And when they can almost smell it, it's near their grasp, he snatches it away.
He takes it from you.
He takes it from you. And then people are like, why did you just even show that possibility to me when you don't have to show me that, no? I would be happy with it. You made me come all the way to this.
Yes.
And then you took it away. It's like, I just want to show you, I can give it to you if I want to. But re-evaluate. I'm giving you this obstacle. Re-evaluate your desire. It's not wrong to have desires. Re-evaluate. Why are you having this desire? What is your actual goal? What are you actually looking to achieve from this? Clarify all of these things. And most of the time we realize we were not setting the proper goals. And then he'll let you achieve what you actually truly wanted in another path that you never even thought was possible.
But because he knows what you actually want deep inside.
Yeah, because he has a vantage point. He can look at you from a higher point. We are like that horse with the thing tied to the eyes. Now we can only look at it this way.
Yes.
We want a goal C. We think we are at A. We think B is the only path. We can't see outside of ourselves. Right? But he, from a vantage point, he knows, okay, if you do this now, this is going to cost you not just this life, for multiple lives. There's another way of going about it where you can achieve both, right? So he will clarify your desires and your intentions and make you understand why these desires are coming up, what is the trigger. So you realize things about yourself through obstacles. So people who are actually very deep in Ganesha Sadhana, they always telling, please give me more obstacles. Please teach me. I want to realize more about myself.
And he'll purify you through them.
He'll purify you and he'll clarify things for you. And then you will understand actually what is it that you actually truly want.
Lovely. Guruji, usually what we do whenever we start any sadhana, we pray to Ganesha first from the notion that any obstacle that comes in between this sadhana, may Ganesha remove it.
So there is a difference between Ganesha and Vinayaka.
Okay.
So what happens is, we have now combined both of them into one. And if you actually look at the history of how this came about, in the Vedic times, there used to be a group of beings called the Vinayakas, who are like nature spirits who would cause obstacles to people if not pacified. So in the Vedic sutras, there's a lot of mantras for pacifying them. These nature beings, they are not malevolent. They are like children. They just cause damage because they do not have the same way of looking at things like us. So if you read like those olden books, when we were children, we read all these English fairy tales where there's these pixies and all that, right? Yes. They just cause some damage.
Just out of fun.
Yes, out of fun. So we have our own thing called Vinayakas. So these Vinayakas would do these things. And scholars say that playful kind of obstacle causing Vinayaka in the Vedic era transformed into Ganesha in the modern era. But in the sadhana path, what it says is, Shiva and Parvati brought forth Omkara Swarupa, Ganesha, as a controller of these Vinayakas. So he became the Mahavidyas who rules over these Vinayakas. So when we worship him in normal pujas, he keeps a control over these ganas. His ganas are called Vinayakas. So we have almost forgotten his role as a Vinayaka in the Hindu Padati. But if you go to Tibet, you meet the lamas. You go to Thailand, you meet the forest monks. I've traveled and I've met and spoke with a lot of them. They still refer to him as a Vinayaka.
As Vinayaka, okay. So the form that we pray to for removing the obstacles is actually the Vinayaka form.
Mahavidyas. He who rules the Vinayaks.
Okay.
Right. So we have this name for Ganesha as Ganapati. So Ganapati means what? Lord of Ganas.
Ganas.
Right. Yes. What are Ganas? Any group. Any group he is the leader of. Right. Shiva Ganas, Rudra Ganas are all groups. Vinayakas are groups. Buddhas are groups. Even the Navagrahas is a group. He rules over all and every group. So that is why he is called as Ganapati, he who leads all groups.
Guruji, now that we understood the different forms, I would love to know for my audience, if they want to begin with Ganpati Upasana, if they want to begin with Ganpati Sadhana, how can they start practicing at their own home? Like, let's just say one is living a purely domesticated life. Can they also start? And what would be the process like? How should they go about it?
So, sadhana doesn't require a guru to start. Never wait for a guru or guide to start.
Okay, you don't need a guru for sadhana.
You don't need a guru to start sadhana.
Okay.
Right. So, if you wait, you're just going to wait all your life. Right. And not all gurus would be suited for you. Like I said, everybody has their vasana samskaras that make them like certain things, right? If someone's coming from a very, very traditional background, they follow the Shankara Madam, they follow extreme rules of purity and impurity and all that. And they will not be able to relate with someone like me who is like, rule breaking and all that. If someone comes from I hate all these restrictions that we have. I hate restrictions that we have, all kinds of discrimination that we have. I hate these things. They would relate to me more. So everybody has their own psychological tendencies, right? Mental tendencies. So how do you go about starting? You take their stotras, right? There are Puranic stotras, there are Tantric stotras where no initiation is required.
Okay.
Right? You take their stotras, you start chanting their stotras.
Okay.
Firstly, every day you make it a habit, you sit and at the same time, at the same place, you do the stotras.
Okay, so the first step would be chanting or listening to the stotras.
Chanting.
Chanting, okay. Because usually, Guruji, initially you are not able to, clearly pronounce the words also. So that's why I have heard from so many people that they start with listening so that it becomes a regular part of their...
You can listen, but it's not counted as a sadhana. You have to be in sadhana.
Okay.
You can't be watching sadhana or listening to sadhana. So,
yes.
sadhana is spiritual practice.
Okay, so chanting stotras.
Chanting stotras, Puranic stotras, they have no restrictions. Right? So, start having a daily practice. Right? At least light a diya every day in your puja space. Have an image of Ganesha. Start spending 5 minutes with him every day. Right? Sit. You do not know how to do puja. It's fine. You do not know stotra, it's fine. Sit. Even your attention is still, you are giving him attention. Anything we give has Shakti. Even sitting and giving that is also Shakti. Sit. I would say if Ganesha is your Ishta, start the day when you wake up in the morning, say his name, take his name. Because throughout the day, we are all humans. We do not know what is going to come in the day. We might miss our sadhana, something, there might be a personal loss, a job loss, some drama at work. We might not have time to do sadhana after. Like if we think we're going to go back home and do sadhana, if we had a horrible day at work, forget about it. So start the day taking Bhagavan's name. End the day taking Bhagavan's name before you sleep, because you do not know if you're going to wake up the next day morning. So you want to if the last thing I do is take his name, I'm good. Just take that as a start. And then 5 minutes a day you spend with him.
Okay.
Next you do is stotras. There are a lot of stotras like Sankatanashana stotra, which is very common. You learn it and chant. A stotra is not a mantra.
Yes.
So if there is a mispronunciation, there is no bad effects.
Okay.
Right? A mantra, because they are bijaksharas, if you pronounce it wrongly, it could backfire. A stotra is like a petition letter. You're writing a love letter to your I love you, you're beautiful, please do this for me. Right? If you mispronounce it, there are spelling mistakes, your loved one is not going to care. So it's different.
You'll be spared.
Yeah, you'll be spared. So just recite the stotra. Doesn't matter about your pronunciation. Of course, spend some effort to actually better your pronunciation. When you start doing it, you can take a sankalpa. What do you actually want? Do you want to get a guru in this path? Do you want to understand what your path is? Take a sankalpa and say, I'm doing this practice, a stotra, for the next 41 days, 44 days, one mandala. Every day you sit and do. Right? He will give you an answer. And he's a big show off. He always will show off his results. A lot of time the results come on a Chaturthi Tidi.
Okay.
Because he has to show that, you're praying to 5-6 different devatas. I need to show you that I'm the one doing this for you.
Okay, he'll clearly show you.
He'll clearly show you. When a result happens, there will be a sign of some elephant, right? Someone will mention Ganesha. It will be a Chaturthi. Something like, someone will give you mangoes. Anything that is related to him will happen. For example, I was applying for a certain visa somewhere, and it was not happening, and my travel was coming very fast. And I was like, hey, Bhagwan, what is this happening, man? I already put it to you. You're not giving me any response. After the puja, I came out. Then I checked my phone. I got an email from the visa center. Your visa has been approved. I just checked. Oh, it's Chaturthi. So waiting for his for his tidi. He has to show that
he was waiting for his day.
Yeah. So he does that. So what happens is when you do it dedicatedly with faith, if your path requires a guru will come into your life.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, when I went to Kathmandu, I have a lot of shishas in Kathmandu. I always go to Pashupatinath. It's one of my favorite temples in the world. Once I was there, I went to Guhyeshwari temple. It's a Shakti Peeth, where Ma is in the form of a spring. So they worship as a kumbha on top of the spring. It's inside a cave. So I went to do my sadhana inside and my meditation inside. My shishas were waiting outside. On that day, one girl who who has been doing Ganesha Stotra for almost a year, woke up and felt a calling to enter the temple. She was doing the Stotra without any guidance, and she felt that she needed a guru. She just woke up and she realized she has to go to this temple at this day. So she went there. She ended up talking to my Shishyas and saying, I've been doing Ganesha Stotra for a year, and something just caught me, and they started laughing. I say, the person is inside. Just wait. And then I came out of the cave and I initiated her in Ganesha Mantra in the Shakti Pit itself.
It was all planned.
It was all planned. So if you take your first step, the Devata will send someone appropriate for you. And if, for example, some people have had a lot of bad experiences with spiritual figures, or maybe even in previous lifetimes, they just cannot handle authority or spiritual figures, you worship the Devata, and if he finds you do not need a guru, they will give you an alternative path. Right? So what you need for growth, the Devata himself or herself will show you.
Guruji, what after the stotra?
So once you start doing the stotra regularly and practicing simple anushtanas, like say doing a certain count of the stotra within a set of time, right? I want to do 108 counts of the stotra within 1 month, within 30 days. You put a restriction for yourself. And then you start worshipping the Devata on the Tidhi related to the Devata. Right? Every Devata has a Tidhi. Right? Shiva has Pradosha.
Yes.
Right? Vishnu has his Ekadashi Tidhi. Ganesha has Chaturthi. So have a daily minimal regular practice that you do every single day without fail. And on the 2 Chaturthis, do the practice more.
Okay.
Take the Vratas more.
Okay.
Vratas are very important when it comes to Devata Upasana. Right? So when we do sadhana, we garner a lot of punya. And some people say, I'm doing a lot of these things, but the results are not showing. Because you have a stack load of papa also down there. Right? So in fitness, they will say that if you have a lot of fat, if you don't train your diet, if you can do 1,000 sit-ups and do ab works, your abs are not going to show. So even if your punya you're building, your papa is not being removed, it's not going to show much results. So in the tidis related to the Devata, you take Vrata.
Okay.
So Vratas are very, very important in sadhana. And Vrata means actually doing Vrata. Means it's not just food. Restriction of consumption is not just food. Right? Some people I know, when I was a young kid, I would see my aunts and all that. They're saying they are taking Vrata for this Devata. They are on the phone gossiping about their relative. Right? They are watching TV, Sun TV or whichever Indian channel serial where the daughter-in-law is getting abused, and they start relating to that victimization of that. Right? Vrata means restriction of consumption, all forms of consumption, not just food. So that burns your karma rapidly and allows the Devata to manifest much more quicker in your life.
Okay. So Guruji, if I conclude, one result would be that depending on your capability, either you will be shown a guru once you start chanting the stotras, or the deity will decide your path.
Yes,
right?
Both. Exactly.
And Guruji, what would be the signs? Let's just say one starts with this upasana. Would there be strong signs that this sadhana would protect you also?
So, Devatas always give signs. They are not... I'll give you an example from a Devi sadhana. When I had finished a specific sadhana and concluded it in Shakti Kshetra, I went back to Singapore, and the next day I got a murti of the goddess sent to me by a sadhaka from the US. He did not know which Devi I was worshipping and which sadhana I was doing. So whenever you do a Purasharana or Anushtana, you wait for some time for the answer, whether it was accepted or not, and some sort of answer will come. So right after I finished that Purasharana is a lengthy process of mantra sadhana. Let's say 1 lakh japa, 10,000 Omahavutis, Tarpanam, Marjanam, Bhojanam. These aspects are there for a Tantra Mantra sadhana, and you wait for the answer from the divine. And the divine always answers, and they will give signs. And multiple signs will be there. They're not a teenage kid or college kid that gives you mixed signals and all that. The signs will first, it will be like a touch. If you don't listen, it will be a knock. If you don't listen, it will be a slap. If you don't listen, it will be a drag. So the signs will get stronger and stronger. So you just have to understand what these signs are.
Guruji, do the deities expect you to be in a certain way also? Like as we were talking about Vrat, you said consumption from everything. You just leave everything negative that's, you're carrying within yourself. So like when you pray to any deity, and especially since we are talking about Ganesh Tantra, does Ganesha expect you to have certain qualities to be that patra of his worship?
So you don't need that, right? The thing is, the devata makes one ready.
He makes one?
The devata makes one ready. He doesn't bring someone who's already ready. He crafts you, right? So some people ask, if I have alcohol, if I have non-vegetarian food, if I have these things, am I eligible to do sadhana, right? Now, if we see in the yogic stream, there are two philosophies in yoga. One is the traditional Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, where you first start with yama, niyamas, and all these other angas, and finally you go to meditation. You don't start meditation first. You have to have all these ethical rules. And then you have the Gorakshanath and the Nath Sampradaya that says you start meditation first. Whatever needs to fall off will fall off in time. Right? So, when you do sadhana, two different people might be two different things, right? Example, one person might be addicted to alcohol. And when he drinks, right? Next 3 days he can't do sadhana. Another person, he will go out on a Friday night and have a drink with his friends, but he's not addicted to it. He can continue his sadhana. So what needs to drop off will naturally drop off. The devata will decide. So you don't have to be perfect to start sadhana.
He will make you.
Yeah, it is the process, right? None of us are perfect. So,
Guruji, when we talk of Devi Tantra, there are different paths to Devi Tantra, right? Like the right marg or the left marg. When it comes to Ganesh Tantra, are there also such paths?
So, in Tantra, there are different streams of Tantra, right? You have Dakshinachara, Vamachara, we have Mishrachara, which is a mix. Different sampradayas follow different manners. So, I would say, example, in Ganesha Sampradaya, there are streams meant for grihasthas.
Okay.
There are streams not meant for grihasthas. So, example, if you want to lead a happy, balanced life and you want growth in all aspects, you wouldn't worship a smashana devata, because whatever energy of the devata is carried into your life, carried into your home, generally speaking. Of course, there are exceptions. Now, in Ganesha Tantra, there are various Ganesha forms. You have forms like Vallabha Ganapati that are suited for householders.
Vallabha
Ganapati.
Okay.
They are suited for householders. It is a path where you get balanced growth in all aspects. Right? So, Vallabha Ganapati is a path where anyone can do, and his form is the amalgamation of 5 different devata couples.
Okay.
So he has 10 hands, he has a Devi on his lap, and all of these things. So if I go through his Dhyana Rupa, he has chakra and he has the lotus at the first set of hands, representing Shri and Shripati, Vishnu and his wife, right? Then he has Trishul and Pasha, representing Shiva and Parvati. We call them as Girija and Girijapati, right? Then he has sugarcane bow and blue lily, representing Rati and Ratipati, or Manmata or Kamdev and his wife. Then he has Gada and that harvest shoots representing Varaha Bhagavan and Bhudevi, goddess of earth. And then he has a pomegranate fruit and a broken tusk representing him as the form of Ganesha, Pushti and Pushtipati. Right? And then he has his Devi on his lap, Siddha Lakshmi. So this represents all aspects of life, spiritual elevation, right? Protection, relationships and love, right? When we say relationships, it means what? Example, people are having trauma from, they have certain issues with their dad, or they have had sexual abuse as a child, so now they don't trust anyone from that gender, or they had a very abusive relationship or marriage and they are still healing. So the Devata heals these aspects.
Okay.
Right? The people around you are not conducive for your growth. Right? And you can't do anything about it because they are your friends or your relatives. You will start removing these people and bring people who are conducive for you.
Okay, what actually meant for you.
Yes. So like within a year, your entire social circle might change.
Okay.
You might be dragged from one country to another country.
Okay.
Right? Then Varaha Bhagavan and Bhudevi, right? We need material wealth in this world. Right? Bhudevi represents the earth, earthly wealth. But we also need to have the power to safeguard our wealth. Right? So for someone who is a grihastha, he needs all of these things.
Yes.
Protection, spiritual elevation, healing relationships, removal of ignas. And most importantly, he's carrying the pomegranate, which is the completion, Purnatvam. I'm complete. I want all of these, but not from scarcity.
From a place of fullness.
Yes, from a place of fullness. So this is a siddhi of doing Mahaganapati sadhana. Now we have other Ganesha sadhanas like Uchishta Ganapati, where it is not meant for householders.
Why? Like while I was doing my research on you, I got to know of this term and I saw a picture of Ganpati which is very fierce and scary. So is this the one that you're talking about?
So Uchishta Ganapati is not, there are many forms in Tantra, right? One Devata might have many mantras and the Devata has different rupas for the different mantras. Right? Mahaganapati has this rupa. Uchishta Ganapati has multiple mantras with multiple rupas. So the one that is most prevalent and because of its image is him embraced with his Devi in a sexual embrace. So that is the most common image of that mantra of Uchishta Ganapati. So why it's not meant for householders is there used to be different clans of Ganesha Tantra, different sampradayas. In Shankara's Dik Vijaya, where Shankara went all over the Bharat to spread his Advaita, he mentions these streams of or schools of thought. So in Ganesha Sampradaya, there were groups who worshipped Vallabha Ganapati and there were groups who worshipped Uchishta Ganapati. So Uchishta Ganapati people do not believe in social rules, regulations. They do not get married, right? So they do not believe in one partner for one person.
Okay.
So they lived in a more free society. They do not believe in things that is like Aushacha or, Sutak. They do not believe in these things. So that sadhana was meant for a group of people. And I know sadhakas who are very good in that particular sadhana of Uchishta Ganapati. Most of them are not grihasthas. Most of them are bisexuals because they naturally have the tendency to not see duality.
Okay.
So it is easy for them to do that sadhana. And in that sadhana, you can be lying on your bed and do the mantra japa. Right? But if you are brought up in a way that you want to sit down, you want to have a shower, you feel a bit dirty if you take Bhagavan's name or do sadhana without showering, we have that mental restrictions. You start doing sadhana like that, it's going to cause you psychological and mental damage. Right? We need to know ourselves first and what our tendencies are.
And which path do we align with?
Yes, which path? If you are in Grihastha, you don't do paths that is not that is going to cause destruction. There's Sriti karma, Srishti karma, and Samhara karma. No, So you need to know what you actually want in life. So if you're okay with destruction, you can take the destructive path. There is no right or wrong, right? One is the path of the new moon, Amavasya, one is the path of the full moon. Right? Both are, say, two sides of the coin only. But what is relevant for you, you should take.
Makes sense. Guruji, what are the common mistakes that people do while approaching Ganpati, or let's just say while they're starting with Ganpati sadhana? What are the common mistakes that people do and they should avoid at any cost?
This applies for Ganesha Sadhana, but it also applies for all forms of sadhana.
Okay.
Firstly, they say, Guruji, the japa feels mechanical, or my mind is wandering. Because they confuse what is yogic sadhana to what is mantra sadhana, right? If you want to calm your mind, if you want to have control over your emotions, do yogic sadhana, do pranayama. That really helps. If you want to get different states, spiritual states, do yogic sadhana. Do not bring the what you expect of yogic sadhana into mantra sadhana, right? In mantra sadhana, the aim is to get siddhi of the mantra. Even if you are doing it mechanically, it's going to happen, right? Even if your mind wanders, it's going to happen. In Tantra, we say that the japa of a mantra is like this being the male lip, this being the female. And the constant chanting is like the conjoining of the male and female, giving birth to the mantrik devata in the Garbhagriha, which is your Hridaya chakra.
Okay.
So you're doing that like conception basically, right? That's why they call it bija, no? Seed.
Yes.
So that you are actually giving birth to the devata within you, so that eventually you become the tool of the devata. You are just like the temple, right?
Wonderful. I've never heard of this before.
Yeah, so you become the temple, because when this is the Garbhagriha, then this becomes what? The temple, right? So that's the path of Tantra, to becoming the vessel of the devata. And then what happens is, when you become the vessel, things like navagrahas and all that doesn't mean anything to you. You become one with the devata. So whenever you do, nothing creates karma. Like you're walking on a beach, right? You're not leaving any footprints. Because you're not doing anything in life from a lower level.
Yeah.
You are identified with the divine. But it comes from doing japa. Now, so that's one thing, doing things and saying it's mechanical. Second thing is, Guruji, I'm not getting any experiences.
Yeah, mystical experiences.
Yeah, so 99% of the time, all the experiences are bullshit. It's your mind coming up with things.
Like you're making things in your head.
Because your mind has never sat down and done anything like that, no? So I have that a lot, because like I have over 500 shishyas, and sometimes some shishyas will put their experiences, and otherwise, Guruji, I'm doing this, I'm not getting these experiences. So experiences are good, but they are not important, right? A lot of people, even in our normal lives, you will say, today Shiva came to my dream, yesterday Devi came to my dream, the next day another person came in my dream, but they are still the same crappy people they have always been in life.
Yes.
Why would Shiva come into this person's dream? Right? If really a devata comes to you, your entire life patterns change. If you really encounter a devata, from then everything changes. Everything you thought about life changes. Everything changes, right? You won't go back to being the same personality you was before that, right? So experiences are good to have, but the experience should turn into insight, and that insight should turn into realization. If you're just playing at this level of experience, nothing is going to happen, right? So don't look for experiences. Look for how the sadhana is changing you in your own life. Are you dealing with people better, right? Or do you used to be so docile and take abuse, now you do not take abuse anymore, right? What is changing in your personal life? Is your social circle changing, right? Look at things that is happening around you, not just for experiences, right? So firstly, mechanical things. Secondly is experiences. These two things you should know. Thirdly, I'm not feeling anything. So this entire problem is people think emotions is devotion. Emotions is not devotion.
It's not.
So when you are devotion means you are devoted to something. If you are devoted to a certain thing, you do it regardless of emotions. Because it's a higher purpose for you, right? You might not always love your child, but you're devoted to your child. You're going to make sure the child gets everything it needs, right? Flimsy feelings and emotions that you see in movies. Oh, I'm crying. I'm a great bhakta. It's not. It is not that. It is rain or shine. You are doing what needs to be done. That is true devotion, not feelings. Feelings come and go all the time, right? Devotion is different. You have to be devoted. Like even when you should come to a point when even when you are talking to someone, let's say you're talking to you, your isht is still running in the back of your mind. It should become a natural state. It's like right?
He becomes part of you.
Yes, so that is devotion, no matter what is happening. Not flimsy feelings or doing something grand once in a while and then not doing anything for next 6 months.
Makes sense. Guruji, now that we talked about experiences, I would love to know for my audience, like, how did this path chose you? How did Ganesha chose you in your life? How did he show up?
So, I come from the oracle tradition. The oracle tradition is easier to explain when I say if people who watch the movie Kantara, they would know, where Kshetrapal's deities will descend in the body. It's a very old and ancient tradition that we have it in every native culture. We have it among the Chinese culture, the Greek culture, the African culture. All cultures had the oracle tradition. Even in the movie 300, you would see King Leonidas going to the oracles of Delphi, who are invoking the god Apollo. So this is a very ancient culture that until now we still have. So I was an oracle for the devata called Karupan, who is a form of Kal Bhairav. Before that, I joined my guru when I was 12 years old, who was also an oracle of another devata called Munishwaran. And I used to do seva for him. And originally, I hated my guru because when my mother made me join, I was a very playful child in school and doing all manner of things in school. And one look at me, he was telling everything to my mother what I was doing. Right, so I
can understand.
Yeah, so I really hated the first experience. But later on in life, I grew to love my guru, and from becoming one of the shishyas, I became the head shishya.
Okay.
So we have this concept of padel or pujas where we offer food to the devatas. So we will cook, rice, sambar, and offer to the devatas, and we will always offer a mango for Ganesha. So Ganesha always has to have his piece. And once the food has been offered to the devata, they will distribute it to everyone there, right? And my guru would always call me first and give me the mango to me. And I was like, oh, this is my guru's mango. I will not share it with any of the shishyas. I was like, no one touch it, no? I have my saliva on it. So a bit childish. So other shishyas didn't like that, of course. And then later on, my guru had given me an instruction to build a temple for my devata, Karupan. And there was a point of time where after my guru, I was soul searching because I was lost. What should I do? I do not have a guide anymore. And this Agori appeared in my dream in this jungle saying, do Ganesha Sadhana. He will tell you how to serve your devata. But how do I get initiated? I'm in Singapore. So I also like Shiva a lot. So every Pradosha I'll go to the Shiva temple and I would Shiva will know. He is the Guru Tattva, no? When my physical Guru is not around, he is the Adi Guru.
The ultimate Guru.
So I would go and pour milk on the Shivaliga every Pradosha. I'm I do not know how to do this, but I'll just pray to you. Something will open up. And then suddenly there was this trip planned where people were going to Kashi and someone dropped off at the last moment. So there was a slot open. So I had not been to India before, and this slot opened up, and someone just asked me if I would like to go, and the trip was sponsored. So I said okay. There I met an Acharya who initiated me in Ganesha Mantra, and I told the Acharya Ji, I will respect you as an Acharya, but I will only have one Guru in my life. I cannot take you as a Guru because I served only one Guru. I will only serve one Guru. My Guru is not with me anymore, but I will not take any more Gurus. He said, it's fine, I know your path is different, you just take this mantra. And from the time I started chanting the mantra and doing the mantra diligently, things started aligning in my life. Right? I got a book contract to write a book on my Ishta Devata. People said that your writing is really good, please write a book. And then I started writing a book. And then in Devata worship, there's something called yantras, right? And yantras are usually very secretly kept. Different samudayas have different yantras. So for the Devata Karupan that I worship, they had a secret yantra that was based in the Kerala Tantra Sampradaya. And usually they handwrite these yantras. It's not this machine factory made you get anywhere. They will chant mantras and they will write it on copper foil or gold foil, and then they will give Shakti to the yantra. Usually in temple murtis you will see, in the Ramlala temple, there will be a yantra below it. They send it to me. They paid and sent it to Singapore. So things was like, because when I didn't know how else to serve my Ishta Devata anymore, these things come. By writing a book, I serve my Ishta Devata. By this thing, I get to serve my Ishta Devata more. So I was like, okay, now maybe I will start saving some money, and slowly over the next 10 to 12 years, I will build a temple for Karupan. Like, I'll make that my life goal, right? So when I was doing that, I had a lot of pushback from my family, like because they're not spiritual. So like, why is this fellow going to India all the time? And you should invest in a home somewhere. You are getting a bit old. You are single. Get a home for yourself. All kinds of insults and things that would happen. There would days I would be crying. So I'll go to Ganesha. My house is, I'm your sadhaka. All these tears and insults I'm dedicating to you. I'll take water and I dedicate to you. I don't just dedicate love. I dedicate everything to you.
Yes,
right?
True surrender.
Yeah, so all this, I would cry. Even that I would offer, my tears I offer to you. You see all of these things, And then I was trying to find land, and then someone said, Anna, why are you trying to find land? He's my Devata I worship. I'll give you land. You come and build a temple here. You come and serve him here.
It all seems very divinely planned for you, right?
Yes. So everything just happened like that, and I was like, okay, so what will happen if now I need to actually start building the temple. Should I ask people for money? What is going to happen? Let me ask people, read my writings, I will see. And then people started donating. Right? The entire temple was financed by people who are not even Tamils. The Karupan is a Tamil form of Kal Bhairav. By 99% of people who donated were people from all over, from Jammu Kashmir, Mumbai, because they might not have the same Ishta as I, but they can recognize real bhakti, they can recognize authenticity. You can't fool people. And that authenticity, they were able to relate with, and a lot of people came forth to build the temple. And Karupan appeared in the dreams of these people who are not even my shishya, saying, I want this weapon, I want padukas. And they would message me, hi Shree Ji, this person, would message me who's not a shishya, like, Karupan appeared in my dream saying he wants padukas, I'm going to sponsor this thing. Karupan appeared in my dream. So all these things, just the Devata himself did everything. I went to Kashi again when the temple process was happening, and Aghori I met there said, don't let it slip this time. So that made me like, that was very cryptic.
Yeah.
If we meant don't let it slip this time, that means there was some time in the past life that I didn't fulfill this thing.
Yes.
So in the consecration day, the Shivacharyas who did the prana pradishta and everything, when they were doing, The Shivacharya came into me is not anyone can build a temple. Usually back in the day, kings and all that were the ones who were able to do this. So only someone who has that Purva Janma Prapti will do such a thing. So after the temple was built, or just around the process, right, there is a crossroads to the temple. So before the entrance, there is a big rock and boulder with Vibhuti and Tripundra and everything. And I found out what is this thing. This boulder has been worshipped as Karpan for 400 years. 400 years ago, Karpan appeared in the dream of this villager saying, I'm in this river as a boulder, come and take it out and worship me. So this villager 400 years ago had taken and worshipped him, and incidentally the temple just sprung out there. So did I actually do anything at all? Or he was already there? It was just like a leela, no?
Yes.
So it was nothing was done by me. But I had overwhelming sense of gratitude to Mahaganapati, because without him, none of this would have happened.
Wonderful.
So I made it my life purpose that I would bring about what Ganesha is really about, rather than that cuddly Gannu Bappa kind of
cute
thing.
deity.
What he is actually capable of,
Yes.
this power of him. And sadly, we have lost all these traditions that have gone to places like Tibet and Japan and China that we don't even possess. And I am going to all these places and retrieving back all the lost knowledge, so that the place that gave it all will also finally have those knowledge.
And I do feel, Guruji, by the story that you just told me, that he has chosen you definitely for it. So Guruji, to end this wonderful divine discussion about Ganpati today, one last question would be for all my viewers. The deity that you pray to, you attain their qualities. Like you pray to Devi, she would give you material growth, because we somewhere associate her with material growth. We associate Shiva with detachment. When we talk of Ganpati, we think of intelligence, buddhi, communication. That's what he gives you. But what's beyond that? How do we understand Ganesha beyond that? What else will he give you?
So you see, when we talk about Bhoga and Moksha, right? Shiva and Parvati combined is Ganesha, right? He is the beloved son of both of them, right? He is dear to both of them. You see Ganesha Sahasranama, it says that he who likes to play on the lap of Devi, right? And in the same Sahasranama, it says that he who is the only one who can make Shiva laugh. Like Shiva is so stern and frightful when in the Rudra Rupa, even Shiva Ganas get afraid of him. But when he sees Ganapati, he immediately starts laughing. Ganesha has the qualities of both Shiva and Devi, right? So you get both. That's why it's a balanced path. You do not get enticed by just money or wealth or influence in a like that you would have in certain pure Devi sadhanas, or neither will you be totally detached, right? You will be engaged with the world without being entangled by it. You will be fully within your own presence, right? And you will realize the divinity within yourself, right? There's no need to tell people you are divine. Your divinity is your own personal thing, and you will be totally satisfied within your own self. There are people who are very rich, people who have a lot of influence, a lot of friends, all kinds of things. They are very empty on the inside.
Yes.
Right? So he gives you that completeness on the inside that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Right? He is the Purna Devata who will give you Purnatvam within you.
Wow. And I hope, Guruji, that we all experience that Puranatvam through this particular discussion. I do definitely feel more connected with Ganesha after this discussion with you, and I'm sure so will all my viewers. So thank you so much for being that medium to bring us closer to him, and it was a deep, divine, wonderful discussion about him. So I'm really grateful to you.
Shri Mahaganapati Namaha Karpartane.
So you tell me in the comment section, how did you like today's discussion? What are your queries out of this discussion? Do let me know. And in the coming podcast, in the coming series, which more topics should I cover with Acharya Ji? Do let me know. Do you feel a connection with Ganesha? How has Ganesha shown you his presence in your life? How has he guided you? And will you make Ganesh Sadhana a part of your life after this discussion? Do let me know. I'll keep bringing you such insightful discussions. This is your host Rangoli Sharma. I'll see you in another podcast. Namaste.